Good morning, hope you've all had a good weekend. It is Monday and it's already the 1st of August. I don't know where the month's gone, but it seems to have gone by really quickly. I have got today a DX140. It was being transported by a wagon, and there's a grease nipple on the end of the dipper ram which I've fitted a little grease pipe to and run down the boom, so it's handy to get at from floor level. And the wagon's caught a tree and snapped or damaged the fitting going into the ram. So I'll go and get a look at that. I've got some bits and pieces that I've ratched together. So hopefully we'll have something to sort that. Then I've got a DX62. The customer was on the phone on Saturday. I couldn't get to the machine Saturday or Sunday because my wife was working, so I was on childcare. So that machine, it was running and cutting out. I got the guy to pull the filter and it was all clogged up with muck and rubbish. So I've got a set of fuel filters. He also said the machine was flashing up wanting a service, so we'll get that service. That's a 6.5 tonner. And then hopefully, depending on how the first two jobs go, we'll get through to the Lake District. There's a DX10 out there to service, as well as, what did you say was wrong with the pilot? When you work in the machine, it just sort of cuts out, the hydraulics cut out, so there's some little micro switches in the armrests. And he reckoned one of them wasn't clicking, so I've got a couple of them in the back of the van, so we'll go and get those. That will definitely put the day in because there's a lot of travelling to do today, so we'll see how we go at that. Weather's good today though. I think it's going to be wet tomorrow, maybe wet on Wednesday morning, but after that, Thursday, Friday and the weekend looks good weather-wise. We were trying to get the oilseed rape cut on Friday afternoon. Said try and got the rape stuff onto the header, and then there was a shower of rain on Friday, so that kind of knocked that on the head. So we'll maybe get finished at a decent time today and get some rape cut, but we'll see. I doubt it. I think it'll be back end of the week before we get that. So without any further ado, let's go and get some diggers fixed. Right, good start to the day. I can't believe how long that bit of pipe was that I fitted to that machine about a year ago now. Yeah, it's got a banjo end at one end and a 1/8 BSP at the other. And I honestly thought that would be more than long enough. But anyway, it's actually a foot longer that I need, so it's a bugger that, because I nearly did pick up an old Quickie, because it's an old, I make the extra grease pipe up there out of old quick hitch kits that we've got lying about or had lying about for DX27s, because they used to send the hitches with a fitting kit and they started putting piping on the machines already, so you just need the 2 jumper hoses from the bottom of the boom onto the hitch out of an entire kit. So we've got like a few boxes of quarter pipes. Anyway, I thought what I got there would be ample long enough, but it isn't, so one of them 5-minute jobs that's gonna be to come back to now. Anyway, right, I'm going to carry on up the road to this DX62. Hopefully we'll have more luck there. Right, so job is as follows. The machine was sort of bogging down and cutting out on Saturday. Talked him through pulling this filter out here. And when he pulled this filter out, it's like an element filter. It was all slimy and gunky and horrible. So he sort of swilled it out in a bucket of clean diesel, put it back on. But talking to him, when he had this pipe off here which goes into the high pressure fuel pump, it was more of a dribble coming out. He'd taken this pipe off here which comes from the tank and blown back to tank, and there's a decent amount coming out of there. There was a decent amount coming up to this filter, but I think the restriction might be in here as well, so change the fuel filters. The machine, like I say, is flashing up wanting a service, so we'll do engine oil filters, but we'll get kicked off with changing these filters and see if we can't get the machine to start and run. So I've changed the filters, and before I started I've just taken this little belly plate off underneath the tank. You can see there's a tap there. I've just undone that tap just to let any water run out. There isn't any in there really, to be fair, but if you come and have a look at the filter that I've taken off, the diesel in there was quite sort of cloudy and creamy looking. And you see that filter pretty clogged, so did have a bit of a heart attack moment as well. I managed to, Dan the man in the part is off today, and he has been Thursday, Friday last week, and I did pick my own filters and I paid for that today because that is not the correct filter. But I do carry fuel filters for a lot of our machines, and I did have one on the van, thankfully, because otherwise it's a long way to go back just for a fuel filter. So that is a new filter, it's just been in the back of the van rubbing and rattling about. So it is new, I promise you. Replace the filter in there. So what I've done, replaced both the filters, and then I've taken this feed pipe off the fuel pump and allowed the little inline lift pump to pump fuel through this pipe, through this filter, up into this filter, fill this filter, and then down onto here. So it takes about 2 or 3 minutes for the fuel to come through, but there's a good supply of diesel there now. So hopefully when I come round to start the machine, let's see, it should start, hopefully. It's not. It is. Right, you can hear by the battery, obviously they've tried starting it on the weekend there, so we'll just let that machine run now for 5 minutes, and that'll give the engine oil a chance to warm up. Looks like it's just a 250-hour service that it wants, so that's just an engine oil and filter. Let's have a double check. Oil and filter information. Yeah, engine oil filter. Yeah, that is all it's wanting, so nice and straightforward then. Engine oil and filter, and that'll be this machine back up and running again. Apparently the fella's got 20-ton sub base coming, which he needs the machine for, evidently, so good, he'll be happy. So engine oil dropped, engine oil filter changed, just on with topping it up. Now I had this drum, what was left in it from a previous service, would it be that 160 high track, and kind of knew it wasn't just gonna be enough, because I'll show you that, just slightly low of the mark. Now I always fill machines up to the top mark. Some of you might say, well that's fine, just it's on the mark, it's way above half, but no, I'm gonna have to go and crack open another 20-litre drum just to get a cup full in, because I like things to be right. So yeah, I'll do that. Right, little service done. Now it's time to start it up, give it a little run, make sure everything works as it should, and then get into the Lake District for this little DX10. Right, we're heading out onto the next job, which is 1 hour and 22 minutes away, and look, what a stunning spot to build a house, or renovate a house anyway. Fantastic. Right on the border of Cumbria and County Durham, I think it is actually. And then further up the road there, it's Northumberland, so we're right in the corner of Cumbria. Anyway, we'll certainly be heading right into the centre of Cumbria soon, in among all the tourists and whatnot. So we'll take 1 hour and 22 minutes with a pinch of salt, I think. Time is 23 minutes past 11. So So yeah, be galloping towards 1 o'clock by the time I get to this next one. So just up at the top of Hartside, so this road here that goes down, that'll head towards Penrith, and then over to the Lake District over there, which is where I'm heading for. Be about somewhere in that direction. But yeah, this is quite a famous spot really. A lot of motorcyclists like to whiz up and down this road. There's a couple of hairpins and some nice roads to drive on, and away over in the distance, it's quite hazy today, but that is roughly Dumfries. Castle Douglas will be about there-ish, and then right in the middle there is Carlisle. It's nice up here, it is. But anyway, I just thought I'd pull over and show you Cumbria. Beautiful place is Cumbria, really nice. Anyway, we'll crack on. So I've made it to me little DX10, and the fault was with this little micro switch here that mounts on those 2 holes there, and when it hits there it allows power to the pilot cut-off lever. So what the owner did was he unplugged it here, put a jumper wire in, so this side was sort of always live, if you like, to keep the machine going while I got this rocker switch. Now unfortunately, what's happened is he seems to have taken the rocker switch away with him and the bolts to mount it to the armrest. And now my problem is I can't get hold of him. So might just have to put a cable tie on here, shut, and leave it down here tied up somewhere, and you'll have to come and take this cover off and feed it back in. Not ideal, really not ideal. It's Monday. I hate leaving jobs like that, I really do. In actual fact, it doesn't actually matter, because when I plug that new micro switch in, it doesn't allow the machine to work, and I'll tell you for why. When I unplug this in my red wire here, I've got 14 volts when the machine's running. When I plug this into here and check the red and white wire up to where the switch plugs in, I've got nothing. So I've got a broken wire, this piece of harness here. So yeah, what I'm going to do is order this new section of harness, come back and fit it. And at the same time, I'll get a couple of screws for this, because as I've looked over the machine, I've found that little nut in the belly plate. I need another little nut, and I need another 2 little bolts. And evidently they've gone walkabouts. So what I'm going to do is rejoin that wire that he had joined up, order a bit of harness, and come back. Yeah, not ideal, but that's what it is. There we go then, the Mondayest Monday I have had for a long time. 1 out of 3 isn't good odds, but hey, I wasn't to know with that DX10. I mean, he phoned me last week there, was it last week? Week before last, when I was off looking after the kids, and I told him to put a jumper wire in, not knowing that he'd gone all the way down there and done it. So yeah, like I say, normally I could have repaired that, the wiring, but I still had I haven't got any, the tiny little bolts, and they're quite long as well, and I've got now on the van to hold that micro switch on. So even if I'd repaired the wiring, I couldn't have fixed that micro switch onto the machine properly. So oh dear. Right, yeah, I'm probably going to leave it there for today. I'm just a bit downbeat. Tell you another thing as well that's annoyed me. Started the van this morning and that engine management light popped on and won't go away. And another thing that's been bothering us for a couple of weeks now, I just haven't got around to doing anything about it, is I've got a water leak inside the cab. And the water dribbles out from that corner of the glasses case in the back of there, dribbles down onto my fridge and then runs off my fridge onto the floor. And I've been meaning to show you because it was there on Saturday morning when I popped into the van there, and yeah, that's a pain like, and it wants to be sorted under warranty really, doesn't it, rather than me rip it all apart and have a look, because if I don't fix the leak and I can't find the leak and I take it to Mercedes and they go, oh well, you've been in at that, you've done this and you've done that, we're not paying warranty on it, you'd feel like a bit of an idiot. So I'll take it to Mercedes sometime soon and hopefully they'll knock that light off. But I'm just concerned because I put this false roof in here, I'm gonna have to take it all out, and I really don't want to. I really don't want to, and that's probably the biggest reason why I haven't already just popped into Mercedes with it. Anyway, right, we'll leave it at that for today. A bit of a I want to swear, but I've promised myself I'll not swear on this channel. It's not been a good day for me anyway. That's what a bad day looks like for me. Still smiling though, so. Right, so I've got finished, it's 5:05. We're on quite a bit of rape. It's a steady job and there's 3 trailers in the field. There'll definitely be one full and there might be one that's nearly there. So what I'll do is I'll take the full one down to the yard, tip it, come back up. Hopefully by then, second trailer will be full. I'll tip it and then come back up. I'll grab my van, go home, put the kids to bed, have my dinner, and then come back up and there'll be a couple more trailers full. So yeah, it's looking alright though. There's the combine heading up the hedge side. There's a bit of a hedge splitting this field in two with this great big section missing. Haven't taken the silage sides off yet. I'd imagine when we get into wheat we'll get the silage sides off. I'll go and have a look in this trailer over here, and then the big tractor and trailer is up at that top end. Also got the silage sides on. But I think this one will be full because this is the little trailer. We'll go and have a look. Yeah, we'll call this full. So this is the grain. It's like ball bearings if you haven't seen it before, and it's actually quite warm as well. But got, I would say, 65% of the field done. There's these 2 fields here, and then there's a bigger field over there. I think that's about 25 acre maybe, I don't honestly know. And then there's another field over the back of there. Whether it's just this stuff today, I'm not entirely sure. I was just told to call in if I've got chance and come and empty some trailers. So right, we'll jump on. So we're on the 160. Yeah, I don't think you've seen inside this one before. But we've got a gear stick in this one rather than some buttons to change gear. But it's quite nice. There's a button on the back of here. So say I'm in 4th high and I change up, it'll automatically select the right range. So it's not bad. It's not bad. So I'll get it fired up. The pipes aren't in at the minute, but I'll put a pair of gloves. I'll go to the van and put a pair of gloves on because there's no worse than, I hate a greasy steering wheel, I do. So instead of pulling away from the dike back and staying along the dike back, especially with a full trailer, I always try and run along the tram lines. Then it keeps compaction on the headland to a minimum. What we're going to do with the stubble this year is top it. So we're going to smash all the stubble to pieces and then allow it to chit and then spray it off. And we'll come in with a horse joker it all, as they call it. It's a disc cultivator with spring tines on, and then come in with the direct drill and put first wheat in is the plan, I believe. So right, I'll just pull up at my van, I'll put a pair of gloves on and we'll get these pipes plugged in. So we've got this field cleared, and just as I was coming back from the farm there was spots of rain on the window, and I've looked at the weather radar, and in about 26 minutes we're going to be engulfed by rain.
Why?
Why? Why? Because that's the weather. So taking this trailer up to farm 3, I'm dropping it off. I'm going to come back for the other trailer which has got a tank load in it, I think, and then I'll take that tank load one up to farm 3 and leave it in a shed, I think, and then that other little trailer is has got to go back to farm 1, and my van's in that field over there. Right, we're packing in, just gonna offload this and call it a night. It's just after 7 o'clock. Shame really, got this field opened up, well not opened up, we've been once round, and then there's a field next door. That'll be all the rain. But yeah, I don't know what it's doing to the acre at the minute, but I think it's done pretty well. Because that silage trailer was really full. Right, there we go, a wet end to the day, so we'll leave it at that for today. Sorry I've been a bit grumpy in this video. Thanks very much for watching, and don't forget, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button for more bits and pieces throughout the week. Head over to Ali's Digger Diary on Instagram and TikTok. Have a good evening, and I'm sure we'll have a better day tomorrow.